Welcome to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast, with your hosts, Mike Manino and Nariman Hamden, bringing you insights and stories on achieving personal, professional, and financial success.
Hey guys, I'm Nariman Hamden, and this is Driven Unscripted Success podcast. We have a great guest on today. We've got Miguel Villarreal, and Miguel has been in the real estate industry for over 20 years. He is a founder, a real estate expert, a residential mortgage lender executive, a personal development coach, and entrepreneur. How are you doing, Miguel?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming on. Where are you zooming in from?
Well, I'm in Naples, Florida.
Oh, I'm in Naples as well.
Yes, I noticed that when I was just doing some of my preparations for this conversation.
Oh, it's fantastic. So why don't we kick things off by having you tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got to where you are today.
Absolutely. Well, I came to the United States in 1999, originally from South America, Colombia, and with a background in finance. And like any other immigrant, I came with big dreams and big ideas. Full disclosure, I didn't came to really with the hopes to stay. I came just to overcome a personal situation and security things that we had at the country that I was living at, and decided to stay. And I found my way to become, a salesperson on technology. I ended up selling door to door, cable and internet. So I'm gonna date myself here because it's been more than 20 plus years, 26 years now. And that was one of the greatest things that could happen because it really connected me with the real estate community. And I started to see beforehand what was going on and what was going to happen in this market, especially in South Florida. Got really connected in development with the Economic Development Council. And I decided to go ahead and join a mortgage company countrywide back in the day as a loan officer. And from there, one thing took me to another, that I end up managing multi-states for Fifth Third Bank on the mortgage division. And years later, we founded our real estate company. So it's 12 years now. So we have a real estate brokerage. We have the residential lending. We do development in other countries. I have offices in Mexico and Costa Rica. And with boots on the ground, not just investment. Right, so we are, if you would say I'm a technocrat with heart, so I'm very operationally driven type of person.
Sure.
And I like to see, and I like to build a lot. So if you would ask me, who is Miguel Villarreal? I would say it's a builder of people, like to help people to grow, give back. Someone gave me an opportunity. This country gave me a great opportunity. And I have done very well for myself, and now is the time, always been, to pay back, right? So that's what we do with the coaching, and we're focusing on emotional intelligence more than anything else, how to overcome the challenges. So we help professionals and individuals to maximize their potential and to really use the tools that they have in their hands, like AI and other tools, to really improve their lives, right? So that's what we do. I mean, I have many hats. But I'm blessed with having great people around me. They help me to run what we do.
That's fantastic. Quite the accomplishment over 26 years. It's pretty impressive. So I'm sure there's a lot of competition, obviously, in the real estate sector and with lending and the different interest rates in that entire space. What sets you apart? What comes easy to you that others find challenging?
Well, the background and the diversity helps a lot, right? So when you overcome a challenge, you become someone that thinks outside the box, that really breaks the status quo, that doesn't like to do things in the same way that others do, but we humanize the process. And I think we're very consumer-centric in everything that we do. We love to say that we do the ordinary things in an extraordinary way, and it's not a line that I created. We took it from somebody that makes it resonated a lot with me, right? And that was part of the Tony Robbins background that I have, where you will understand that by helping others, your vision and what you want to accomplish becomes easier to obtain and attain. So we really work very hard to focus on who we're serving, what we do. So it's not our best interest at heart, it's their best interest at heart. And for example, in lending, we tell our customers, I want your 10th transaction. And they looked at us like, what are you talking about? I said, this is just the opening. This is just the appetizer. We want to earn your business. I want to do the 10th transaction. So you're going to stay with us forever. And I can tell you and be testament of that. I see it now, people that I helped when I was a loan officer, bringing their kids. Then now they're married and they have a family and we want to do the loan with you. So, well, I help them. I don't originate, but we help them with the organization. So we do that, right? Same thing with the residential lending. So what is set us apart is that human factor, that care for people, the giving, put them first. And that's what a lot of people don't do. 'Cause, I mean, you say that it was very difficult out there, right? And rates are high,
Sure.
affordability is an issue. Talking about residential lending, it's very difficult to help families to overcome those challenges. So becoming an advisor is a must. How can I help you to achieve what you want to do in a responsible way? Not just do it
Absolutely.
to do it.
Absolutely, because I mean, buying a home for anyone, it's a massive investment. It's extremely personal. It's family, it's business. I mean, it's everything all in one. And to have someone that you go to show where you share your financials and your full story, your budgets, your this and that, it's very personal, and which makes sense with you, with them coming back to you and giving you business time and time again and generationally, which is absolutely beautiful. Their children, their children's children, their relatives. And that's very telling. It's because you've become one-on-one with them. You become almost like friends, where you care about them, you guide them through it. And it's a very emotional point in life, with an investment like that.
100%. And it's only possible if you have the right people surrounding you, the right team,
Absolutely.
right? So it starts within. And my customer today is my employees and the people that I work for. Those are the ones that will make this possible, right? So that's why we're looking into the organizations and different aspects of my businesses. That's what we do. It's funny. I'm gonna share with you a very fun story. We just relaunching some of the brand, and what the team is known as the MVM Group, and that's an acronym that I created a long time ago. And I was talking to people that've been with me for years, and they were saying, "Okay, yeah, Miguel Villarreal Mortgage." I'm like, no, that's not what it means. It never was intended to be. What it is most valuable member.
I like that.
And they were like, really? I say, you telling me that you call yourself MVM and you don't know what it stands for, right? So it's been for such a long time. So I had to kind of, punish myself a little bit, put myself in time. I said, well, shame on you. You haven't been able to deliver that message in a way that should it be. Because I look for that membership. I look for them to be part of it. They're building it, not me. They're doing it. My success is not mine, it's their success. And I'm not saying that just to say because it sounds great. Is I will not be able to do what I do on a daily basis. I will not be able to be here with you
Sure.
if I don't have somebody else running the show. I don't have somebody else taking care of that customer. And if they do it right, and if they have, you win two things. You won the loyalty, and I'm blessed. I have people with me since 2007. That's what, 18 years. And the one that has been the least has been 4 years.
Wow.
So retention for me is very important throughout the organization.
Sure, because you're building a work family, which
Right.
is a beautiful thing. It's growing and exploring together and growing together. So let me ask you, um, if somebody was listening to us now and wants to get better at mortgage lending or in real estate, and to have a better mindset, which you touched on, Tony Robinson, and help, basically helping you get into a better mindset where you're implementing that with your employees. What would you suggest they do, and what tips would you give them?
First tip is to be uncomfortable. Be brave to do things they're not accustomed to or that create some fear, some uncomfortable feeling within, right? Because when you're comfortable, you're not growing. So that's the first tip. Be open-minded. Don't do the same things over and over and again, expecting the different result, right? So that's not what you should do. And at times when you start to develop a career that is established and steady, you get used to do things in the same way. And that's what the market is being taken from underneath, because people come with new ideas, new ways to do it. So always be active, always be learning, always be open minded to
Sure.
understand that life is about change. And that's what it makes this journey amazing, right? So uncomfortable, open minded, and willing to learn. That would be the two things. And the most important thing, be humble, serve with the
Awesome.
heart, and people will give you what you want. And just do it just to do it, not to for the the desire that I'm gonna get what I want. It's just life works in that way. When
Yeah.
you serve it, people will pay back.
Sure, is to be selfless and not to expect a pat on the shoulder for doing a good deed. You should just naturally do a good deed, and then it comes back to you 10 times plus without expecting it.
Correct.
So, what's one of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome in your career?
At times when you see potential and people stay comfortable. I'm gonna go back to that, right? So the biggest challenge is in the human capital, where you see people with so much potential that they can really do so many great things, and not just financially but personally, accomplishment, things that that significance that will play a big effect in our lives as a basic need, and they don't see it. So that's kind of the frustrating part at times, is they don't see themselves, they don't see the potential that I see other people see in them. So that's one of my biggest challenges. I'm very demanding of the performance of the teams, and I notice that's one of the biggest things that I have to overcome at times is, okay, you guys can do more, but we're doing great. You can do more, and it's not on the, again, it's not on the balance sheet or on the bottom line. It could be as simple as how you bring coffee to a guest. We can do it in a better way. We can wow them in a different way. You can make them feel better in a different way,
Sure.
right? So that's the biggest challenge. It's just you get used to it. It's like the pool in the house, right? You have it and you don't use it as often as you
Yeah,
did at the beginning.
sure, sure. Um, so what's a skill or habit you think doesn't get enough credit for contributing to your success?
That's a hard question. I don't know. I have to think, but I would say they never give up. Could be one of these, see
Perseverance.
impossible. Yeah, see impossible. You know that that resilience that one
Yes,
can show. It's like it's possible. We all can do it. You just need to find a way.
sure. Has there been a book, a podcast, or someone that's really changed your outlook or approach?
It's many. I mean, and I devour books. I read a lot. Depending of the topic that I'm interested in, right? I can say, when you can go back to books like back in the day, Rich Dad Poor Dad from Kiyosaki was a good book. Who Moved My Cheese from Spencer Johnson is one of the smallest books that I have ever read, that I have given to my teams when we do and go through a lot of transitions or changes, that really resonates in any it's kind of evergreen. You can use it all times. It's just a little story that really resonated. Now I'm consuming a lot of Ray Dalio's books, because the way that he's looking at the world and the economic turmoil that we're going with the currencies, and the realignment of the new world order. So it goes with times, but I think it goes back, always back to that essence, right? That you need to stay grounded, the journey, what
Mm.
matters, and control your controllable. So I would say probably the best book, and it's just a simple book that I would recommend to somebody, would be that one, and The Present. Those are the two books that I would
Present.
start with. The Present and Who Moved My Cheese. Same authors. It's just old books.
I'm gonna write that one down. Remove my cheese.
Yeah, it's a very old book.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So, can you share a personal habit or routine that has significantly contributed to your professional success?
Meditation. I do have the habit. Now I change the time. I used to meditate at 3 in the morning and get my day from 3 to 7. And I have to change that for good. But every morning I go into a place in my house, just for me, and I pamper myself, and I started with meditation, intentional meditation. And I learned how to do it a long time ago. So I can be there for 45 minutes,
Hmm.
totally into it. That helps a lot because it gives you a lot of clarity. It's like getting ready, warming up your brain. So I don't have that craziness and cold back plunges and all these other things that people do. And I think will work if you feel that it's working. At the end of the day, it's just a
Sure.
mental state, right? But I think meditation, because it's quiet in the mind, is one of the most important things. And then learn how to control it, right? So how to address the anything that you face in the meditation will help you to do that, to understand how it works.
Got it. 45 minutes in meditation. You sound like a guru.
No, it's just a good habit. And I learned here's the most important thing. People think meditating is put your mind blank and don't think about anything and don't hear anything. And the contrary, you just it's a relationship between you and your thoughts. And you start to address everything that is worrying you as you go through it. So just give you an example. Okay, you're there, you're focusing, and then you hear a noise. So what is it? So you let the brain and the mind wander and go into that place. Okay, that's what it is. And you start to address it. You quiet it because you're addressing every issue that you have or everything that at the time is a concern or a task or something. So when you get out of it, it's like, okay, I have done a lot of things already. What's next? What is the day is gonna bring? So I do that, and reading. Reading for me is very important. You send podcasts. I mean, I listen to a lot of people from diverse backgrounds, right? So if it's in technology, or if it's in business mindset, it's a big wealth of knowledge in the world right now. Unfortunately, we don't take advantage of it because it's free. We're giving it away for free
Sure.
through social media.
Yeah, it's everything is so easy and literally at your fingertips that you tend to take it for granted. And there's so much out there and so many options that it's a lot of people tend to just take the easy way out and just get stuck in the scrolling per se,
Correct.
you
Correct.
know. Um, so let me ask you, uh, uh, going back to your leadership and management, leading a team has its challenges. What's your leadership style, and can you give us an example of how it helped you through a tough spot?
Well, it's very technocratic, right? So I'm very white type of person, and I learned that from my dad. He used to say to me when I was growing up, "Son, the guy that knows the how to will always have a job. The guy that knows the why will always have the managerial or the ownership of that business. He will be the boss." Right? So that kind of resonated and stayed with me for a while. So I'm always looking for that why. So how we do things is irrelevant. It's why we're doing it. What is the
Sure.
goal? What is the outcome that we're looking for? So when I manage and when I lead from that perspective is what is it that you want to accomplish and why you're doing this. And then we figure it out the how. How do you get to that point, right? And that's what helped us to really achieve so many crazy things and things beyond what my wildest dreams were at some point is just we knew why we wanted to do it. And then we just found the ways. Because when you say you see the outcome, you see the final product. I mean, in real estate, right? How many times we walk into a property and it's not the best color or not the best
Sure.
furniture around, and you see the potential. You see, man, if you remove
Yes.
all this noise and you do something totally different, meaning different colors, different furniture, different
Sure.
decoration, this is home. So have that ability to see it beyond what you have in front of you. So the why, right? So why I'm here. What would it look like being there? And goes in the opposite way. You go to the model home, it's perfectly decorated, but your furniture
Yes.
is not even close to that one. So your house is gonna look totally different, right? Once you
Right.
get into the house. So that's what I think makes me different is that technocratic piece, the understanding the operation and the procedural, the steps, the one, two, three. On my coaching platform, we talk about a very easy and simple framework that we use for everything that we do, either consulting with larger corporations or on a one-on-one basis. Is awareness, strategy, and action. You need to be aware of who you are and where you're coming from, which is basically your why. Then you create the strategies around it, and you get to do it. We don't talk about motivation, discipline. In my opinion, the motivation and discipline come with the results. If you start to make money, You're going to get motivated to continue doing it, and you're going to be disciplined about it,
Sure.
right? But if
Sure.
you don't, it's very hard to do it. So that's what we do.
Sure. Yeah, it's easy to get discouraged when you're not bringing in the money and having to, see failing over and over and over again gets discouraging. But that's also goes back to what you said earlier, where if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again and it's not working, then you have to learn from it to do it differently,
Correct.
you know?
Correct.
So how do you encourage your team to think outside of the box and bring new ideas to the table?
It started with a basic habit that I created the day that I hired them. When I hire somebody, I give them every reason why not to work for me. Every reason. And about the job. This is how bad it's going to be. This is how awful it's going to feel. And this is the trade-off that you will be paying for if you decide to come over. So starting with that, make them feel uncomfortable. I don't know a lot of people that do that. We all wow people. We all want to show the pony show. Come and work for me. This is the best thing. We're better than competition. I will give them every reason, every challenge. And the second thing that I do with them is, and I want you to, every time that you bring me a problem, you bring me the solution for your problem. And what am I going to be for you is I'm going to be that buffer with experience to tell you, okay, that might be the solution or not. Two outcomes come out of that action. One, I will learn more about you and you will learn more about me. And we can synchronize how we think and lean on each other and create a compound effect of two different points of view, or two different ways to resolve whatever the problem on hand. So that really helps them to understand that before we come into, oh, I have this problem, they have to think, okay, what kind of a solution we're going to bring to that problem, right? So what we notice is quite often they just come for validation. They know what to do,
Sure. Yeah.
and then they just go back and do what they have to do, right? So that creates a speed, because many, many times you're not going to say, I'm going to go and talk about it. I'm just going to do it because I know it's going to work. So it creates that confidence, build that trust, empowers people to think deeply on how to solve a problem, how to become someone better every day. So it's not that we don't have problems. Lord knows we have a lot of them
Sure.
every day, because it's life, right? I learned if you're in the ring, you're going to get punched, no matter how good of a fighter you are. Somebody's going
Sure.
to throw a jab on you, right? But that mindset, it transitions your brain from chaos to action, right? Because a lot of people like to stay in the chaos,
Sure.
stay there for a long time. Oh, I have this problem. I have this problem. What are you doing about it? Oh, well, I haven't thought about that.
Yeah.
So when you do that, and they know it's bad, quite often it isn't that bad. It hasn't been that bad. So, well, we'll just wait. I would never tell them it is going to be great or not. They're creating the
Sure.
great story, not me.
Sure. Growing up, with you, touch on this is, my mother, I remember coming home from school one day and I had a problem and I was upset and she just, it resonates with me till this day. She just looked at me and said, every problem has a solution except two, if you die or if you go to prison, but everything else has a solution. So figure it out.
100%. And we see people giving value to things that don't have that value. The guy that's get
Sure.
upset because somebody, cut him off on the road and just all of a sudden it's a rampage. Or the
Yes.
10-minute wait. It's just, we magnify problems. We love to do that. And some people out there, they have a problem for every solution. That's the normally that don't win.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. I feel, like the road rage and this and that you've just mentioned, it's a lack of patience. It's with the way technology is and how fast it's moving, and it's made our brains move that fast, or physically and mentally, to where it's just expected now. So when something goes slow, or if it doesn't go fast enough, it irritates people. Or
Yes.
causes an unnecessary problem out of nothing, when all you had to do is just slow down and be like, who cares?
And you know what is amazing is they let that little incident ruin the whole day.
Yes, yes. And then
This
and that has a domino effect on the people around them, because
Right.
then it's gives off that negative energy into that person from listening to the story about nothingness. Then it irritates them, which then they go on their day being upset. So it
Snowballs.
yeah, absolutely. So it goes back, back to having a better mindset and just learning to be patient and having discipline with patience, you
And
know.
understand, and I know I was gonna go back to that too, is why? Why I'm so upset about this? Meaning, yeah,
Right,
okay. They got
right.
an accident? No. That I'm gonna be late? No. So what is the big deal? Let them be them.
Yeah, who
And
cares?
you just, yeah, and just because I'm
Yeah,
not gonna let others, change my name, my day.
sure. So when you're building your dream team, what's the one trait you always look for and why?
I look for people that are coachable, they're willing to learn, right? And why is that? Because they show they're humble and they're open-minded, right? And always go to that. Are you coachable? 'Cause skills can
Sure.
be taught. I can train people. We can train people, right? And then you look for different levels, how fast you want to move, depending on the position. So placement is very important. You're not gonna give a senior management position to someone that's gonna, ruin your culture, even though it has the skill, but it's not coachable. So I
Sure.
start with the skill, and but is it somebody that we can coach? Is it someone that can work with us as a team?
Sure. That's open to being easy to communicate with and rationalize, you know. Um, so how do you tackle learning new things, especially stuff that's way outside of your comfort zone?
Well, I look for references. Success leave clues, and just pick up the crumbs and you start to look at it, right? So that's a Japanese model, and it's a lot of other these great thinkers that teaching that outside. So why are you going to take the hard road when you can go and just find out who has done it successfully? I learn about it. I consume a lot of content, but I be very intentional what I let my brain to focus on. So it could be through YouTube, could be through TikTok, could be through anything, could be to the family chat. But you
Sure.
need to pick up who you're talking to and who is saying what. That aligns with the outcome, right? So what is the goal that you want? Why are you doing this? So when I learned something new, AI, it's about 2.5 years old, November of 2022, they opened it to all of us. I was one of the first adapters in my circle. And they looked at me, this guy's crazy. He just came out with a new toy and is playing with this thing. And I was like, I don't know. I'm looking at it and it seems pretty, impressive. And most importantly, it's going to create that disruption, pretty disruptive in what we're going to do and how we're going to think. So instead of trying to go, a lot of people say, let's go to school, let's take a class. I just look for people that have used it successfully and what they have applied. And I make sure that I create that network. I connect with people a lot just to talk about what have you experienced? What is it that is helping you with? How you using it? And we all are willing to share. We're here sharing stories and thoughts, right? We're willing to
Sure.
share.
Sure.
That's in our nature as humans. We're very social. So why not? So you go and you talk and you learn about that. And then it depends. I mean, I'm a little bit of a borderline addicted to knowledge, but as I age, I start to realize that gives me more gratification, right? So stay close to younger people. They know how to do things. They're coming up with new ideas versus my friends that we talk about what is your next doctor's appointment.
Right. That is so true. And it is, when you surround yourself with younger people and that excitement that they bring, that curiosity that they bring, it's infectious,
It
and
is.
it makes you, well, for me, it makes me feel younger and excited and curious again. And it's just fun,
It,
and collaborating and brainstorming with it. And it's nice having the 50 plus crowd as well, when you need a break from the young excitement and the curiosity and this is all that's going on with technology, like overload. It's like, okay, so we having a barbecue now? Are we eating? Are we watching a movie? So
Yes,
it's
yes,
nice. It's nice to have that balance, I suppose.
yes.
Um, well, it sounds like things are going well for you and your business. As you're looking towards the future, I'm wondering if or how you create passive income or if you have invested in the past.
Yes, I have. And all my life, my adult life has been around real estate investment, lending. So that's all what I know. I cannot speak on terms of crypto being bad or stock markets being bad or, I don't know, open a medical facility is a bad investment. I can look at the economics and rationalize around that, but I don't know the business well to
Sure.
be part of it. So all my investment, all my passive income is around real estate. So, and the people that we have, because I consider the business, if you build them right, can create some passive income or can give you some liquidity if you end up selling it on your exit plan to do that, right? But most importantly, you need to plan the life ahead of how you're gonna live and how much you're gonna live and what kind of a life you want. And we see it with the billionaires; they're donating their fortune because it's not in their lifetime and the heirs' lifetime that they're
Yes.
gonna spend it. So and you start to realize that how many houses you need to have, how many cars you need to drive. It gets to a point that you realize that as you plan in your retirement and through passive income, what is that optimal good quality of life, whatever that means, right? Traveling, stay home, do
Sure.
nothing, whatever it is, taking care of others and be financially stable. So I do it in two ends. I look for the overall total amount that I need to bring in, but I also look at the expenditure because you're gonna need less if you're spending less. And we see it with the national debt, right? So we're what 6 times our GDP is our current national debt, and we're gonna take it to 130%. It's a crazy number like that. We need to find out a way to how we're gonna produce money versus how much money we're gonna owe,
Right.
right?
Right.
So it works exactly the same way with passive income. So your question was, do I do it? Yes, I do it through real estate. I have rental properties. I have commercial properties that I sit on that is just, I know they're gaining equity as the time goes by. And with that, later on in my life, I will be able to do some reallocation of those assets to produce a monthly income that will keep our lives very comfortable.
Sure. Well, so let me ask you this. So as we're wrapping up the interview, what exciting plans or initiatives do you have in the next 6 to 12 months? What do you got going on?
All around AI, we're looking at AI agents. We're looking at how to use this opportunity to grow the businesses, to give people better quality of life and help them to improve the thought process and how they're going to use the tool, right? To really make their life different and exponentially better. While others are fearing that we're going to get in Terminator 3 and then everybody's going to come and it might happen. I don't know. I mean, maybe. But what I'm looking for, so we're doing a lot of investment around that, learning that. And with that also we're looking into the digital life. We more and more are going more accustomed to socialize this way.
Yes.
So that changed, right? Because that takes the warm feeling of being next to somebody.
Right.
But we're using more and more this. Even we're in a one-on-one setting, everybody's in their phone, everybody's looking at something. We live it in that, and we
Yeah.
cannot deny it. Is how to adapt to it. So
Sure.
for us as a company is how we're going to amplify who we are and let people know that we exist and using AI to deliver the promise that we're making in those settings.
Sure. Yeah, I'm a big fan of AI. And, initially when it came out, there was so many mixed feelings out there with some people saying, oh, it's going to destroy the world and oh, it's going to do this. But I mean, as I've gotten more familiar with it, I mean, I particularly like the Chat GPT. I also like Opus for video and things like that. But as far as just needing quick information, I mean, I'm a realtor as well, and it has cut my time, my workload down from hours to minutes, and it's asking the right questions
Correct.
to the artificial intelligence. And you go back and forth because it's getting to know you as well. and how you think and what outcomes you expect, what solutions you want, what are your whys, what are your hows, and it gets to know you, and it becomes you basically start dancing together,
Correct.
without stepping on each other's feet. And it's just, I think it's tremendous. And the more people start opening up their minds to it in a positive way, it's only going to enhance their position, in their wealth in business, in whatever they're doing, with that company or on their own, as opposed to being afraid of it and thinking that it's going to take their job.
Right. Or use it as a toy, right? Because
Sure.
other people use it as a toy, using as, okay, just let me, or Google. That's totally different than what it does. So
Yes.
in our real estate company, we use it for role playing and to train and help individuals to break the call reluctance. You mentioned that you're a real estate agent. If you don't call people, you don't talk to people, you don't say, hey, I'm a real estate agent, nobody's going to list or buy from you,
Sure.
period. So you need to let the world know. But it's very raw, very tough to do that in a massive way, right? So cold calling or calling expires, or that's difficult. I get it.
Yes.
So we had developed some AI tools that they help them to role play. And in our offices, you see them role playing in the morning with their phones. So it's no longer in groups. And then they as they go through it, they start to realize, okay, well, I have a big appointment and I don't want to let this homeowner fire me because I have not been able to sell the property as fast as they wanted to, but I already invested in photos, open houses, and all these
Sure.
activities. So they use it to prep for the meeting. What potential outcomes? What if he says this? What if he says that?
Yes.
So it helps. It helps you a lot. Hallucinates quite often and give you crazy. But if you're a professional, that's what your brain, and you will not be replaced by it.
Sure.
Then you use it. You use it to your best of your advantage.
Yeah. It's, I mean, I see it as it's my personal assistant,
Correct.
you know? I mean, anything I need, if I'm looking for certain records that I can't seem to access, having a tough time finding information, just go in there and play with my assistant. Okay, fine. I need the records on this property versus this comparable over here. And it pulls everything up. And some is true, some is not true, but then you have to follow up with more questions in order for it to go digging a little further. But I mean, just just how fast it moves, I
Right.
mean, I don't even know how I lived without it in the past looking at it. Like,
So true.
how did I live without AI? Oh my
Yeah, how I
God.
survive with this. Yes,
God.
for
Just
sure.
buried, in research for hours and hours and days and weeks. And now it's like a matter of minutes to a couple hours. And it's like, there it is. So
Yeah.
it's fantastic. Well, Miguel, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing some of your insights and tips with us. If anybody would like to get a hold of you and get your services, input, get your coaching, get coaching from you, how would they find you?
Well, they can find me on Instagram at d.mvreal, or through my LinkedIn page, which is Villarreal. And yeah, I'm there. I'm always looking to connect with good, like-minded individuals.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much. Well, thanks for listening, guys, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. And if you have somebody that you'd like to come on as a guest, please send them over. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to Driven, the Unscripted Success Podcast. Want to share your story? Apply to be a guest at drivensuccesspodcast.com/guest.